What's going on, everybody? It's Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, getting ready here for our live session. It's Monday. Yep, Wes, I am too grateful for each and every one of you to be with you all as we go ahead and hope everyone gets off to a really good week. Monday's a fresh start, an opportunity to really dig in here, focus, and make sure you're executing exactly according to your plan. Let's go get it. Good morning, everybody. Canada, what's going on over there? Thailand, everybody. Me too, Wes. Me too. Maria, speaking of good morning, Canada, New England, everywhere, South Africa, Austin. Woo! All right, London, sunny or rainy? Dylan, what's going on? There we go, Kevin. So, by the way, I had such a great morning going through several rabbit holes, which is what was amazing. But I think I'll share that with you this afternoon. We're going to start off here looking at the charts. We're going to look at technicals because it's Monday. We need to see what is setting up, how to be positioned, holding on to those positions still, right, for a while from last week. Silver looking awesome this morning. We're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look. Look at that. Actually, that's beautiful. Seeing silver going ahead and leading that gold to silver ratio, continuing to definitely look. I think to break down now. If we looked at a chart of it, we're not going to do that right now. We're going to start off here with the S&P. It's taking a run again at 32. But that's not a surprise to any one of us, right? This is, our base case here, and everyone, depending on, should be positioned accordingly. This is actually pretty cool right over here. This was the bottom channel, top of the channel on the 2 hour. Let's look at it for 1 second as we get going this morning. Because right over here, you could see that if people put their stops too tight, that stops were taken out. You could see the wick down over here of the channel was down over there. If your stop was even below the low point of that consolidation, you were not stopped out. If you took the tighter stop loss, which generally is the case for those who usually go the route of the tighter stop loss, it gets hit more often, obviously. So here we are, 32. It remains, even though this looks super healthy over here. Looking to see if we get that breakout. If we do start getting a leg up and a leg down in the dollar, you could see this morning the dollar is actually kind of drifting a little up. It's not breaking this support over here at 95.84 yet. You can see that's a big level. It went down over here and it made a lower low than the 15th just last week. It made a lower low, but now is trading higher than that. It needs some follow through over here. If we get that follow through on the dollar to the downside over here, we could then be seeing another leg up on the S&P. Vice versa, if the dollar does find its low over there, right, it starts making higher highs over here, then watch out. We could see some downside on the equity markets. NASDAQ seems to be leading today, this morning so far. And so you're seeing that rotation after last week, perhaps back into the big names, which have been leading this rally the entire time. Again, we looked at silver. We'll get into that. Gold also here. Gold, look at that. Gold making 8-year highs this morning. I was blown away, actually, what the stuff I was looking at this morning. It was lovely. But and just to give you some context anyway, because I was looking at tops over here. And I'm gonna really get into that over there. If you all recognize this top, but anyway, here's silver, and it's trading at $20 back in. This is June the 10th. This is after QE started, right in December of 2008, and then silver went ahead, and then it started making and challenging its all-time highs. But it doubled in about a year, more than doubled in about a year. This was after QE started. So now when you go back and you look at silver's trading like still at $20 back where it was before it doubled, right? Except this time we have a bunch more of expansion of the Fed's balance sheet than we did back over here. So you would think that even though this was a bubble and it overshot, that the next one is going to be blown bigger, So we're only at $20 over here. This thing is just getting started, in my opinion. Now, how high do I think I have no idea. Some people talk about, $200 silver. I don't know about, $100 silver to me seems like, that is something I believe during this bull market that could be targeted. Uh, not my forte so much as Bitcoin. Gold also, as it's getting ready to break to all-time highs, right? And it is getting ready, in my opinion, to break to all-time highs. Even today, when you see the dollar starting to firm up this morning, look how strong gold is. Always, or seemingly lately, stronger than the dollar. We're going to get into the pairs in a moment. I just need to get this overview of the market right now, as it's Monday morning, getting my bearings over here. And gold looking, right, challenging all-time highs. Silver not, right? Silver's the all-time high is all the way up at 50. Silver is greatly lagging in compared to gold. What's going to happen when we do see that ratio improve, which we've reasoned why after QE. It looks like that will happen outside of a crisis. And if gold is going to be, challenging what? 2000, 2100, 2400, what's silver going to be doing? That's the question. Think long term. Bitcoin lagging the precious metals at the moment and continues just to be stuck here at 91. And again, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the move that's coming. Whether or not you think that move is up or down, well, you should be all over that. And it's because of the length already of the consolidation period over here. We could see a $1,000, a 10% move on Bitcoin or greater in at any time going forward right now. I'm not going to take a look at cryptocurrencies at all right now. Oh, I got off my chart. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Before I continue, just let me get back to where I was so that I could get back into that later. All right. There we are. Let me go back over here. We were looking at gold, 1800. It's right over here looking like it's continuing its move up as it should. I don't want to get into any further stimulus yet this morning. What's going on, Alan? I don't want to get into this morning as far as when we're looking at stimulus. And if anyone did, that would, those in the Conquering the Markets group who watched the video over the weekend, will the recession get worse? Very interesting stuff. It's talking about in detail everything everyone knows, but really outlining an overview of the current situation we're in. Recommended for sure. All right. Let's look over how we have going on with the euro US dollar. This is really the pair of the day. If you look around, you're seeing right now we're waiting to see what type of resolution comes out of the EU, right? Over the weekend on Sunday night, there's no agreement in sight. And the way that the euro reacted to that was even though it kind of opened up a little weak, it just kept rising. The euro kept rising overnight. And then it sold off a little bit this morning over here, and now we'll see if it goes back and challenges these highs or what. It's kind of like I don't really know. Obviously, I don't think the euro is trading on whatever type of agreement they're going to come to with the rescue fund over in the EU. I think the euro is trading really tied to the dollar right now. It's a dollar story. It's not a euro story. It's not a pound story. We're going to look at the pound because the pound is really it's the strongest pair today. Definitely bid all over the place. So we'll check in over there, see what's going on. But this is a dollar story right now, in my opinion. Nothing more, nothing else. It's not. So the euro doesn't really matter what they do over there. There is further new PMIs this week over also in Europe. That's the only thing on the calendar that comes in Friday. Again, how much bearing this is going to have on the market, that's debatable. I don't think it'll have much. So euro US dollar maintaining the breakout of the trend line, right? Everyone, I know a lot of you, including myself, continue to be all over this. If you look back on the 3-day, you could see that we've currently cleared the trend line resistance. Now, whether or not we continue to get a further extension and come out and perhaps as a next target take 1.15, or we come back down and test further down low that breakout, either one of those things could happen. I have no idea. Either one of those things could happen, right? I remain long though myself. Australian dollar, US dollar. I don't know. Doesn't the Fed want a weak? So yeah, the Fed wants a weak dollar until the Fed doesn't have control over it, right? So really interesting though, Fish. So right now there is an article on Bloomberg, I think on Friday, and it was talking about how the Fed is looking to act. You know, these, you know, whether it's the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, these are like out pieces for the Fed to like leak information, right? This is how you've been following the central bank digital tokens going back for the past 4 years whenever they release any information on that. So I forgot, I lost my train of thought over there. And it was a good one. Could anyone give me a key word over there to jump my memory over there so I can get back to what I was talking about? And until that comes up, I'm going to keep going here, looking at the Australian dollar, US dollar, as it's, again, we're seeing this across the markets right now. This looks like the equity markets. It looks like exactly like the S&P, actually, right? Very, very similar to the S&P. No. US dollar weakness. Doesn't the Fed want US dollar weakness? They want it until they can't control it anymore. Yeah, Thomas, all over it, but Stockholm, cloudy. Wait. ZR1 Rob, this is the first and only warning. We are not talking about Abe Lincoln owning slaves in here. All right. There we go. Yeah, we're going to get to the pound because the pound's the strongest and moving today, but and we're going to get through everything. I want to do a thorough overview here of the markets. I do want to, and as soon as I think of whatever I was sharing with you about the Fed and what, you know, the US dollar weakness, we will be discussing that. We will be discussing that. You were talking about the notes that leak out. Oh yeah, thank you, Fish. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly. So in Bloomberg, they were talking about how basically what the Fed wants to do or thinks they're in a position to do. The Fed just printed $3 trillion, right? And what happened? There was zero signs of inflation, right? Right now, not only does the Fed and or politicians feel like they could continue to do that, right? The dollar most likely is going to continue to be under pressure. And now what it looks like, instead of there's two thoughts. The thought is everything is so deflationary and the dollar system could absorb all of that printing that it won't matter. That's not obviously my belief. Obviously, you're going to come to a point, and it's going to happen real quick, where the dollar is not going to only be weakening, where all of a sudden the dollar will be massively weakened, right? You're talking whether it's a 15, 25% devaluation of the dollar, whether that's slow or fast under these circumstances, that looks like it would go the faster route, right? That could happen very quickly as opposed to this like long drawn out like devaluation that takes place over decades that we've seen since the inception of the Fed. Wait, what's going on over here? Slag again. This is too warm. I don't know what's going on over here. Get off that right wing conspiracy trash. Dude, listen, I don't know what's going on in your people's lives, but that does not happen inside this environment. You know, I don't follow the news. I follow the markets. If you're someone here who's bringing your outside world into here and it's not good, if you're not coming from a good, positive place, then you're not bringing that here. First and only warning. I don't play with that stuff whatsoever, right? So people, I guess, get crazy around the elections. People get crazy around the elections. They see it happen all the time. That's not happening over here, right? ATCJ, Utah, what's going on over here? Man, watch the comments, everyone. Watch the comments. I'm not playing. I'm happy to share and create an environment with whoever fits that environment. Otherwise, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I want to check in over here because this is the classic risk on, risk off pair. It remains to be maximum. It's a good question, but we'll check it out in 1 second. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, 8 hour, and you could see over here everything remains fragile. There's no question about it, right? But we are not yet breaking down. Therefore, we're only trying to keep ourselves on the right side of the market. That does remain towards that risk on, towards the upside, position accordingly. Oh man, this is an educational environment. Manila, what's going on over here? By the way, this is a great little variation over here. But could the Nasdaq go down 5% anytime soon? Of course it can. Could volatility return anytime soon? Just this is really smart for you to do yourself. Like, where's a 5%? Where's a 5% drawdown on the Nasdaq? Right? We just had a 5% drawdown. We just had a 7% drawdown, 6% drawdown. Yes, you just had your 5% drawdown on the Nasdaq. If you're looking for another one or waiting for the other one, I don't know. But we've already had it. Could we have another one? Volatility could pick up quickly. We're not leaning in that camp where we're going to see any downside move. Right here on the S&P to lay it out, if we get rejected at this resistance at 32.32, it does look like it's destined to break. That's the camp we've been in since we took profit, right? Since we took profit over here, going back last week to the 12th, and waiting for it to break now, right? And continuing waiting for it to break or looking to buy further down into supports over here. It's not until this trend line broke that we would think about really looking for a downward impulse. At the same time, and it was asked beginning in the segue over here in the show over here, if we could look at the true trend. I don't look at the true trend when I analyze the market. I'm not looking at the true trend, and I'm not basing my trading decisions off of the true trend for the most part. What I am looking at is support and resistance, and the how price reacts off of each. Right? A beautiful comment shared, by the way. We'll talk about that if it comes up again, if I find it. But the difference it made in someone's trading is absolutely phenomenal. If we're breaking down over here, so I'm not going to leave the true trend up, though, when I go through every currency pair, only when it's relevant. Because I don't do my analysis like that, and I don't want you to either. I want you to be looking at the market through support and resistance. If you're going to use an indicator, then yeah, the true trend is the one I use. I highly recommend it. But either which way, if you're seeing that breakdown over here of these important technical levels where we're going to be thinking about the market is possibly breaking down, and don't forget, every time we come into that important level, we've been buyers, right? And we will, again, anytime we come into this trend line until it's broken, be buyers. But if it breaks, right, that's when we'll have the true trend over here with the negative impulse. And then whether or not you want to be looking like you might want to be taking that depends what the current narrative is going on. If you're seeing further stimulus coming in and you're seeing, COVID cases declining and you see a negative impulse, you probably want to be a buyer into that negative impulse. Because historically, if you look back in this bull market since March, every negative impulse over here on the true trend, that's the ideal buying opportunity, right? And that's where we have been stepping in also. Thumbs down. So anyway, that distracted me. I'm sorry about that. I need to be more focused. I cannot let something silly like that distract me. So that, speaking of focus is really important as we're getting started this week. As you're getting started this week and you're looking, right? What's your main goal this week? To make sure you stay disciplined, you're following your rules. Everyone in the Conquering the Markets group knows exactly what that is, and you're working towards that. I've seen a lot of really, really, really nice performance going on by so many people. It's ridiculous. Coming out over here on the Euro US dollar, we remain bearish on the dollar until it proves technically otherwise. What does that mean? That really means, and that's obviously changing, but right now this is the closest resistance, and we remain so far rejected over here by this last support now turned resistance level taken out over here, right? And we are on the verge of possibly making another leg down, coming towards testing 95. So let's see what's in store this week. COVID picking up in Belgium, France imposing mask and closed public spaces. Regions in Spain in second lockdown already. Did the Catalonia region in the first wave in Spain receive any type of a real? Was it a bad situation in Catalonia the first time, or is it this time when you said that there's further lockdowns in Spain? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, silver lagging, but it's silver's time to shine right now. It is silver time to shine right now. Really interesting though, if anyone's noticed, PayPal, Vimo, who else? I don't follow these payment processes really except the Cash App and Square. Even though I don't like Square, I tried to anyway. I had a bad experience probably because I was outside of the United States trying to get verified on Square. Not a nice process. Third wave here in Hong Kong locking down. So Jason, I heard that was 100 and something cases though. Is it only 100 and something cases? I mean, that's like a flare up, but is it only a flare or is it actually a wave? Um, so let's keep going, looking for that dollar weakness to continue this week over here. Let's start back down over here at the US dollar Mexican peso, 100 per day. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. US dollar Mexican peso continues to be consolidating between the 23.2 level and 21.16 level, 22.16 level. And I'm leaning towards here equity markets going up, which means US dollar Mexican peso going down, right? And I'm looking for a further extension. This is lagging. This is kind of like tracking the Dow, obviously more than the S&P. You can see the June low down over here, right, on June the 8th. And then if you look at the Dow real quick, and you can see the same exact thing. You see this is the June high over here. A day later, same day, a day later, whatever. And you can see that it's also lagging. Interesting because we have the S&P now trading, out towards the high. And yeah, to me, it looks like we're getting ready to break up towards a next leg up. 3,300 looks like it could be in the cards next. And, at the same time, this is a clear pattern. If we do see a breakdown, if we start breaking down, we just looked at earlier where we'll be looking to attack below this trend line, below the 31.23 support. Not my base case. Just trying to get everyone and keep everyone kind of on the right side, and I'm seeing that a lot. See some of you involved in the silver trade. Gold and silver ever since we pulled back into that last support, right? Ever since we pulled back, where was it to 1670, I wasn't a buyer over here. Everyone into 1723 was, right? Everyone into 1723 and also around $18, 18.11 cents, $18 over on silver. And I like how a lot of people not only positioned in over there continue. Building a position right now into these two, you got to wait for those pullback into supports. Someone asked, are we getting a 5%? Someone doesn't like other people making money. I take a great joy about when other people make money, even if I'm not involved in the trade. Man, if you are not happy and sharing the joy of other people and their success, especially of people you associate with, then something about you is fundamentally wrong. You're never going to make it. You're never going to make it in the markets for sure. Or in life. So if you're looking to back into support, that would be a 7% pullback. I don't think that we're going to see a 7% pullback in gold anytime soon personally. I just, would something like maybe a 5% pullback happen? Yeah, I would be a buyer easily. A 5% pullback at gold at this point. And I think that's probably what you should be looking to do. I think it's just getting started. I'm looking at silver, excuse me. By the way, silver's a little more, I thought I was looking at gold. That's why I said a 7% pullback won't happen. On silver, a 7% pullback could happen. Yeah, and that would be the $18 support. That would be a great level to buy in. On gold, you're not going to see a 7% pullback, right? Here's gold right now. Back into the support would be a 5% pullback. That's what I said, a 5% on gold, right? So you got to, just like Bitcoin is more volatile than silver, it's and way more volatile than gold. Silver's more volatile than gold. Less info in Belgium about Catalonia. News is focused again on domestic. It's picking up. According to Catalan numbers, they were hit hard in March. That's a very worrisome sign. That's the sign that I've been waiting to hear, whether or not we saw in Spain, Italy, or New York a resurgence in cases after the initial spike. This is a conundrum. right? I don't know how you pronounce that word correctly, but what we're looking at here is the economy, which is already in a pretty horrific situation, possibly, on the verge of collapsing way worse. Whether or not that means any type of liquidity crisis is a whole different a whole it's that's not what that is. If all of a sudden we go into a big recession, and then people say, well, we're never out of the recession, right? Our PMIs never returned to expansion. They never got back near they were to all-time highs, even though the US stock market was, right? So we're definitely still in a recession, but whether or not the US equity markets continue to be bull. NASDAQ is uber bull, right? S&P is on the verge of possibly testing its all-time highs sometime in the next, near future. And the Dow still lagging, hasn't even taken out the June highs. The markets are mixed. We're not seeing, but as the S&P continues then to go on and continue to make legs up, then we have two of the three indexes making legs up. That's a bullish sign. Just trying to put all the pieces together. Do I mean depression? I mean, I don't want to talk about a depression right now, but, hopefully not. I don't know, I don't, that's a tough one. I don't really want to go down that hole this morning. I want to get back into the FX because the markets are open. The US equity markets are opening in 2 minutes. I want to go through and blow through all the FX currency pairs and really get into them now that I've spent a half hour kind of putting together the whole heartbeat of the market and where it's going and where it's heading, right? Yep. All right. Let's do that. Let me start here then with the Euro US dollar. I'm going to blow through the full list. That's where I'm going to be going. I was thinking of this morning of Davey, day trader, right? Barstool Davey. And as the crypto markets, uh, are going to set to explode, over this bull market. I don't foresee him going into crypto, but that would be amazing if he did. I mean, if these traders were really looking for the best markets and the opportunity to make the most money, right? It would be, if you're a day trader, you want to be involved in the crypto markets when they are going through their bull market phase. Forget the stock market, right? Let's start there. Let's start with all of the pound pairs this morning. Here's the pound Australian dollar, and we're seeing the pound making some nice gains today. It's the strongest pair, but this is a downtrend. It's a strong downtrend. You should be looking to sell resistance in a downtrend, and not try to pick bottoms. If you zoom out further, right? If you zoom out further, could you argue that's an uptrend? Yep. Yes, you can. Has anything changed with the pound, over the past year? The Brexit, right? That playing a volatile event like that, at the points where it's trending, and last year, over the past 12 months, there's been some of their best trades have come off the pound, both to the upside and downside. But right now is not the place for me to lean in. We continue to make lower lows. You can see this area that we're hugging towards this support, consolidating towards a support, right? You assume the next move is down further. When would you start buying this? When would you think that a bottom is being put in over here and we started an uptrend? You might want to be looking for the true trend to turn positive, right? It's hard as it starts consolidating, though. This is why I don't lean on the true trend, by the way, solely on the true trend. As you're consolidating, you'll see price go back and forth between the zero line to the upside and downside. So that could get really confusing. Yeah, pound Australian dollar, not attractive to me. What about the pound Canadian dollar, right? Again, you could go back towards the March highs over here, saying that now the trend has changed, right? That's the side of the market I'm on, at least. You're looking to sell resistance. You're coming back up into resistance right now. Do you want to buy the Canadian dollar? Like, Do you want? I'm not personally in favor of trading on the side of the Canadian dollar right now. It seems to me out of the basket of currencies, just one that I don't really want to put my money on. Right at this moment, the euro has been really, the place for me. Also, pound Swiss franc. Right. What's going on over here? Was this a place to step in and buy? Is that the low over there in March? Are you looking to buy off of that support over here? Was that a good entry? Maybe. That's not where I was focused, though. That's not where I was focused at all. I don't know if anyone was. That's a tough one. What about the pound Japanese yen? I mean, that looks good, right? That really does look nice over there. What's the reason for the pound Swiss franc? Like, this is March QE. This is the bottom, right? We're in an uptrend since. Do you buy off support in an uptrend? Where's your support, right? Support is right where you can see the support area right over here. This is where the market is showing us the support. If you have the support even down a little tighter to 1.17, you just tested that and are now rising off of that. That's a clear buy on the pound Swiss franc if that's where you were focused, not me. Same thing here on the pound Japanese yen. You're coming off buying off support. This is a very clean entry on both those pairs. Not where I'm focused or was focused. Pound New Zealand dollar. Again, you're in a strong downtrend. You're coming back up into resistance. What are you looking to do? Sell resistance. That's where you want to be is the question. Pound US dollar. Dollar is weak today, right? Dollar's not so weak today. Dollar's slightly mixed with a weakish tint, down, just a tad actually, 0.1%. But you're seeing here the pound US dollar, also rallying off this support. When you were doing your analysis, and lesson for me, because wasn't really, I was, well, not really lesson. Yeah, well, kind of mixed right there. You should have noticed that all the pound pairs were into support. Generally, when that happens, that's where you're going to see a reversal, right? I don't know if anyone was involved in that. Does the vaccine and weak dollar to know much matter today? I mean, or this week. No reason to think that the current trends are not to continue at this point. I hope that people are understand or, in reviewing the pound trades. And if not, spend 10, 15 minutes today going over all the pound pairs and see how they were just all into support. And maybe that's where you might want to have been focused. New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. This looks like it's getting ready to continue, upwards over here. Looks like it's consolidating nice over here. That looks like, it just looks like it's resuming out of that consolidation, right? I was going to say it looks almost like a broadening wedge, or it looks like also perhaps, I don't even want to say, maybe if you go like that, you could call it a bull flag. Yeah, that does look like a bull flag. This resistance, a breakout above this trend line and resistance over here, that could lead towards further upside over here. Gold and silver are falling knives to catch to the upside. Falling knives to the upside. Did we look at that, Thomas? I think we looked at Australian dollar. So this is like tracking the Dow. This is tracking the Dow over here, lagging. But yes, Thomas, you're perfectly correct. Look at that. Now I see what you're saying, Thomas. And that is a beautiful setup. You could see the Australian dollar, Swiss franc here into the support. Now resuming out of the support. These are the setups. That's why we always say that the opportunity is always there in the markets. Yeah, Dylan, we'll go right into the euro, Japanese yen, right? So, by the way, the markets are like, look, just to give everyone a little bit of perspective, this is where we've been consolidating. This is, what did we say over here last week? We said that we're looking for the markets actually to consolidate towards the 32 resistance, right? That's what they're doing, which means now we're getting ready for what I believe to be the breakout phase. Any breakdowns, that's fine. I'm not going to get like all FOMO emotional that the markets the sky is falling. I'm waiting to buy off the support down over here and a successful retest. If we don't get a successful retest, we'll be looking to the downside over there. Markets are beautiful right now. Markets are beautiful. That's a nice place to be. Euro, Japanese yen. Euro, Japanese yen. Wow, that's off harder than I expected because this morning it was trading up towards its highs. It's come off 50 pips this morning. Interesting. That's what I have to say. Interesting to see the bid on the yen coming into the market right here, right now. Something to take note of and could keep watching. No, that's a great question. We'll answer that in 1 second after we finish with the Euro Japanese yen. That's an excellent question, Metal Master. Euro Japanese yen, yeah, coming off its highs this morning, but is that a false break over here then? Watch at the end of the day. We always look at the daily. We always look at the daily to find out whether or not it's a successful break or not. We have our rhythm over here. We don't take the break out. But if this starts resuming upwards, if this holds here and starts resuming upwards, you won't get it. I mean, maybe you won't get an entry maybe to London, right? That's a good entry though. So we'll continue to watch it. Is Bitcoin mirroring? But when we talk about 6,000 in Bitcoin, going back when it was hugging $6,000, and then it finally gave way and fell, and then fell 50%, right? That's what we're referring to over here. Let's find that out. Let's find out where that exact. Here it is. No, it's 9,000. Where are we? We have to go back to 2018. Oh, there we are. Right over here. The question was by Metal Master whether or not we're in a similar period as Bitcoin just hugs 9,000. Bitcoin just, basically can't go any higher. It's not going any lower, and it continues to hug $9,000. Now, the difference between here when Bitcoin did that with 6,000 was that this wasn't a bear market. This wasn't a bear market according to the stock to flow, according to how many more blocks to the next halving. We were still in the bear market cycle, and we had not had that 80-90% drawdown on Bitcoin that we expect, right? At this moment in this time, things are kind of reversed, flipped upside down. Bitcoin at this point, right? It can't go any higher, right? So far, it's stuck over here, and it can't go any higher. But think about what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is up 35% since the crisis. It is the best performing asset, outperforming gold since the lows over there in March, and it's getting ready for that next leg up, in my opinion. I don't think we're looking at back in the bear market where it couldn't break 9,000 and then finally does and then falls 50%, taking us to 5,000, revisiting the lows over here. Could that happen if there was another liquidity crisis? Yes. That's what I was talking about earlier. The Fed right now in Bloomberg was talking about how going forward, they don't believe there's any risk of deflation, as do politicians right now believe there's any risk of deflation after us just going ahead and spending a total of $4 trillion, right? And basically nothing happening. They believe they can continue doing that, and they want to get ahead of it. So this time they're looking to they have a 2% inflation target, which they've not been able to meet. They want to actually work towards not only meeting that 2% inflation, but surpassing it to the upside. They want to overshoot towards the inflation side to run this economy hot. And what they want to do is be able to, to create jobs this way and try to bring back the economy. So what they're thinking is they're going to just go ahead and stimulate, not wait for it to cool off and break, but why it's actually going, add more fuel to that fire. That's what they're looking to do, trade accordingly. Do I think we're going to have a liquidity crisis? No, not when they're looking to actually ease much further. I don't think that we're going to have a liquidity crisis. By the way, I said this morning I went down. I went down like a rabbit hole this morning, and it was this tweet by Anthony Papalano that said that the U.S. government and Federal Reserve have introduced over $3 trillion into the monetary stimulus in 2020, right? I've been saying all along that won't be enough. They're going to need 5 trillion more. This will be 100% growth of the Fed's balance sheet in a matter of months. Buckle up. I listened to people who get things right ahead of time. When it comes to the coronavirus, and all of you know, it was back in January when we saw that as a threat to the markets, back in early January, and all of us were able to position accordingly for that fall. There's no question about that. I don't like, there's no need, stay humble. But I remember, and I listen to people who get things right, but listening to this interview back in March where Caitlin Long talks about that, and that they're going to need to keep printing over here, that they're going to need that someone she well respects was talking about before the Fed started printing that they needed to go to $10 trillion, right? She doesn't think that's going to be enough. We'll see what happens. I'm in that camp also. That Bloomberg article on Friday also shows you when they're actually like leaking these articles so that people understand what to expect with their policy. And they're talking about that they want to get ahead this time. They want to try to overshoot that 2% inflation target that they have not come close to because of the current deflation. But if they keep throwing dollars at it, all of a sudden, you're going to see that inflation take hold. And when that inflation takes hold, that's why people talk about, $200 silver. That's why people talk about $200 silver because they know what's coming, right? And that's why I do have that strong conviction on Bitcoin. This was the environment Bitcoin was built for. By the way, if you think that someone's able to ride the Bitcoin bull market and they can't do that, and you think you could do that without conviction, there's no way. I am trying to take as many people forward in life as possible by adding my opinion and how I see things. And yeah, I do a lot of research, and I am actually I do have strong convictions. And as a trader and as an investor, I'm also able, if proven wrong, really quickly to change my mind and get on the other side if the trade, if need be, or get out. Same thing when it comes to information such as on COVID and the virus. That's how I look at it, right? I'm just looking for information and data. I'm not tied to any side whatsoever. I just want to know what is right. That's what a trader is. So anyway, anyone this morning enjoying, that's right, Kips, the broadcast this morning, go ahead and smash that like button, please, because we do have 700 people in here and only 200 likes. And if you're not feeling it, of course, but let me know. No, Dan, silver too, gold and Bitcoin, I believe where it's at. I believe altcoins are absolutely going to outperform Bitcoin. I've been very clear about that. Owning the top 30 or the top 100 altcoins, for sure that's going to appreciate more than Bitcoin by a large margin. By the way, that's a great reminder. That's a video I want to do for all of you so you understand why. I've done all of this research in the past, and I understand why, because the reason I have convictions is I've come to conclusions. But I want to show you why that is, because maybe there are a lot of people who do want to be invested in altcoins. If we're going to have this alt season, there's a lot. There's literally fortunes to be made. Fortunes to me. The problem is that a lot of people make those fortunes and then lose them. Learning how to hold on to a fortune, that's a whole course in itself, and it's so important. Where did the volatility go? It's summer. We're in the summer. I'm happy to be hanging out with all of you, but we're in the summer right here, right now, and the Fed has done its job. The Fed has, by the way, these zombie corporations that are being created, the servicing the debt, servicing the interest on all of that debt when interest is at or near zero. That could go on for a long, long, long time. I think that's the piece that a lot of people miss. I'm not ignorant of the fact of what's going on. Obviously, everyone knows who saw the weekend, the video posted on Saturday where I showed that clip from Sven and Raul Paul, right? At the same time, both of those people, Raul Paul, the founder of Real Vision, and Sven, I don't know his last name, but if it's of like North, who knows what Sven's website is. Both of them are uber bearish on the economy, and they're looking for that market to crash, for the equity markets to crash. Both of them. But both of them are like, you cannot short this market right now. Where have you been hearing that? Where else have you been hearing that? They just said it this weekend. That's why I posted it on the video on the channel. Sven Hendricks, there it is. Thank you. Of Northman Trader, and Sven is literally the best when it comes to looking for a technical market breakdown. And following him as the crisis was unfolding was something that we leaned towards and did, because that was the time to be doing it, right? Because that was the time to be doing it. I don't know if he's a YouTuber. I don't know if he's a YouTuber or not. That was a Real Vision. It was a premium Real Vision interview I saw him on. I see him on Twitter. I see Sven on Twitter and on Zero Hedge. And on Zero Hedge is where I actually found him. He's a perma bear and frugaholic. You got to call it how it is. He basically covered over here on the breakdown. He covered over here, right? We covered over here. He covered over here. That was really quick, really soon. And, but the same thing with me. I just hope that same thing with Sven, his analysis helps me whether I agree with it or not. It doesn't even matter. His analysis, his chart work helps me. I hope it's the same here. My analysis is just meant to be a guide and help for you. You're the one doing your own analysis. That's how it works. Like, I'm trying to help you understand that and see that and be able to do all that for yourself. And that's how it works. He's a YouTuber, huh? Boom, boom, boom. Thanks. We got the Twitter tag right there. It's at Northman Trader. And I think I follow him on Twitter as well. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Let's keep going. Yeah. So, William, if the markets eventually crash, will Bitcoin crash with it? If we do have any other type of liquidity crisis, and hey, this is a dollar debt-based system, don't think that we're not going to have a crisis, right? We're going to have another crisis in our lifetimes. When Janet Yellen said that we will not have another crisis in our lifetimes, every single one of us knew she was lying, right? It was 12 years later that we had the next crisis. I don't know when she said it, in what year, or if it took that long. But either which way, from the time she said it, from the time the last crisis to this crisis was 12 years. How long will it be to the next crisis? No one has the oracle that could answer anything like that. I happen to think that if someone made me answer that question, and again, there's nobody that can answer that, I would say it's going to be 6 years. I would say it's going to be 6 years from now. I don't think that even though I see what's going on in the world economy, I don't think that we're going to have any type of reset anytime soon. I do not think that. I think that the powers that be try to hold on to their power as long as possible. That means the long game. Look at Japan and as what's been happening the last 30 years, right? That's a slow process. It doesn't happen every night. Everyone's always looking for things to happen overnight. It's a slow, gradual process. People are de-dollarizing, right? That used to trigger people. I used to talk about a year and a half ago how the world was de-dollarizing, and that would really trigger people. People would get really upset at me. I have no idea why, right? Just talking the fact that these other countries were no longer using the dollar because we were using it as a weapon. The US was using it as a weapon, sanctioning these currencies. Russia, Putin, said that we had to de-dollarize because the US started using it as a weapon. And they totally have done that. They've moved away from US treasuries completely, right? And they continue to buy gold, right? They continue to play chess. They're playing the long game. It's begun in earnest now. And now I can say that 18 months later, and people don't think that I'm a lunatic. But people got really upset. I don't understand why people get so emotional about when they're discerning what's going on around them. Do we have any thoughts on the pound US dollar this morning as we're coming into the retest here to the upside? Are you looking to sell the pound US dollar? Do you think that we are in a downtrend? Let's get some perspective here. if I could back up further, which it won't let me, we would be in a downtrend, right? So we're not in a downtrend, right? Are we in an uptrend? No, we're kind of sideways. We're kind of sideways. And you know what? When I say sideways, that's a big range, but think about what's going on here on the pound. I don't like this at all. I don't like the pound at all, personally, in this environment. There's nothing I like about it. There's too many unknowns. It could, react too erratic. Would I sell this resistance? I would not. Would I have bought this support? I would not. I'm not looking to trade the pound US dollar. And kind of this fits my definition anyway of a sideways market. It's not for me, If anyone sees anything else going on, yeah, I'm already long the euro dollar, Rory. We've been tracking that. And if you're just watching for the first time, I don't know that you are, Rory, or not. Excuse me for not recognizing the screen name if you've been present with it. But anyone who's following what's going on knows when, the time to look at long the dollar was over here. And then over here, when you had the breakout, the retest, and then the resumption up, was over here an opportunity to continue getting long? Yeah. Well, right over here right now. I'm sorry, Rory. Yeah. If you resume out of this, if that happens at the correct time of day, if that happens during London tomorrow, a resumption out of there, yeah, it looks like a good place to get long again. That looks like a good place to get long again. Don't forget the dollar's trading below this last local resistance over here, this blue line over here. We're still trading below there. We're looking for a resumption down and maybe even possibly a breakdown. Now, if the dollar starts making a new swing high, right, then we're looking for a greater pullback, perhaps into 97. That's where we'll watch and see. If that is a rejection, that's a place to get short again. So how does that relate to the euro US dollar? Let's look at that. So if you have that deeper pullback here, is it possible we come back down and test the breakout right over here, this area? Yeah, that's normally what happens is we get the breakout and then the retest before the resumption. Now, is it possible that doesn't happen and that we get a breakout? We've had a chance to enter for a pullback right over here. We had this first entry down over here, another one over here. Is it possible that this thing, goes off and like a bullet towards 1.16? Yeah, that's possible also, But you're looking for both. You're not looking to sell. As long as you're above this trend line over here, you're not looking to sell. You're looking to buy on any pullbacks, targeting this trend line over here. If we do fall back below this trend line, if this is a false breakout over here, it's not a false breakout. It's already had two resumptions upwards. But if this falls back below the trend line over here, is that an opportunity to get short? Yeah, but I think below the horizontal support at 1.188, that's when you'd want to be getting short over here. Do I think we're going to see any type of dollar strength that would cause that? No, I do not. I do not see any reason for dollar strength right now. I'm not looking for any type of crisis. And whether or not we have any hiccups on the equity market, I mean, my base case is that we break out to the upside over here past 32.32, the June highs on the S&P 500. To me, it's a matter of time. Looking to buy the pullback if we get one. And then if we break down, yeah, we'll put some feelers out there for the downside. Yeah, so there's a video on, let's see if I can find it really quick for you because it would be really great to see and it'll really answer that question the best. Let's do this. We'll get that up in just 1 second over here. I mean, clear overview. This is what I want. I just want everyone to have clarity instead of like people just being like, you ever been in the surf of the waves of a really, really, really strong current and you just kind of get tossed back and forth, back and forth. That's what happened to traders if they don't have a plan and they're just chasing after momentum. They're just getting beaten up by those waves. That's the least as surfers, right? And we always use that surfing analogy where we're looking for the setups. We're looking for those wave of setups to come in, find the best wave to ride, right? That's where we make our money, right? So, the last thing that you want to do is just be chasing momentum, chasing all setups. You're going to get wasted around and thrown around. I hope this gives you clarity. I hope you understand this is where we talked about getting out of the market right there that morning in that whole area and then getting neutral. We've been neutral over here. We're always buyers off support. That was a boom, but neutral, waiting for the breakout. If we don't get the breakout and that means we come down into the support, we're buyers until we break down. Just want everyone to see the market. It's up to you now to be able to execute. By the way, here we go. This is what I wanted to share with you. Let me just scroll down 1 second until I get the best time to trade. There's no way to search it, right? Is there any type of education? No. So I'm looking for a time frame. There we go. Nope. I don't really post too much on TradingView. Do you all follow TradingView? Do you like TradingView? I'm a YouTuber, I guess you would say. I'm looking for the best time to trade because it really explains well in about 3 minutes why the 8 hour is the best time to trade. No one uses TradingView. Good, me neither. Oh, I don't have it right now. Let me just try this. Yeah. Oh well. I will find it for you another time. I'm not going to do it while we're on a live stream, but I will for tomorrow's session. Go back and find the video where I explain why the 8 hour is the best time frame to trade, and everyone who's seen it absolutely loves that video. So I will find that for y'all. Something I should probably play like once a week on the live streams over here, probably on a Friday or something like that. All right, what else is we doing over here? Not much is going on. I'm feeling the summer doldrums today, and that's okay. That's okay. You could see the FX market has been fantastic, even in this slowness. It is trading as it always does, technically so well. Look over here at the US dollar Mexican peso. That's something interesting to watch here. The markets are not yet really coming off that much, and you could see the US dollar really having a nice appreciation here versus the peso. The markets are not participating. You're in no man's land, though. Is this any type of resistance that you're in? Yeah, right? There's resistance right over here. You could see it as clear as day. We're up in this area. If we're rejected in that area, are you in a downtrend? Is that a place that you want to look? Yeah, that looks pretty good over there. Let me go ahead and highlight that. Has the sound gone off, TJ? Did you guys lose sound? Because I'm talking. I am talking. There's a slight delay, so I need 1 second to find out from all of you. Could you guys hear me? Test, test. Yeah, thanks, Will. All right, Dave, thanks. Boom. TJ, not sure what's going on there, but it seems to be coming from your end over there. 339 likes. Do appreciate that. Listen, the way that we flow over here is what's going on with the markets. That's kind of how our sessions go. Today, so far, it's that summer lull. There's not too much going on over here yet right now during this session, right? Just to position yourself accordingly. Position yourself accordingly. Euro US dollar, is this now after trading earlier to the highs? Is this following, by the way, any type of news cycle? Is there any news that has come out regarding what's going on in the EU? Nothing that I see. So it's just like normal price action. Follow what's going on in the charts. Dollar over here, right? As long as it's below that blue line, we're looking for a continuation down. If we break the blue line, then we're looking for a further pullback, probably into 97. if a pullback into 97, could that mean, do you think we trade down to the support? Below that support, I'll become a seller. Below that support, I'll become a seller because we're being rejected by this trend line over here. This really, what is this, 12-year trend line, right? A breakdown over there. Right now, it looks like we've broken out. So, and I continue to remain and hold my long. People are waiting for Tesla earnings. Would that propel the S&P? If Tesla has positive earnings, does that propel the S&P towards the next leg up, or do you have a sell-off? If Tesla is going to be added to the S&P and it meets criteria to be added, if its next earnings are positive, will that have traders actually buying Tesla? Will it have them buying maybe the S&P in hopes of them both rising? I mean, probably. Basically how it works is once Tesla is added to the S&P, at that point there's really no further price appreciation to be had initially because that's already taken place. But buying the rumor until the event actually happens, that's where the potential for that appreciation lies. I think we got more upside. Or does that cause the S&P to sell off? I mean, I don't think so, RV. I don't think so. Going back to Sven, that's why I asked his name earlier, and Raul Powell. Those are two of the biggest bears of the economy, looking for the stock market to fall off. But at the same time, neither one of them believes that you can short right now. There is zero reason to short this market. Two of the biggest bears, and again, Sven is a perma bear. Sven's a perma bear, and he's like, you cannot short this market. Think about that. All you who continue to try to pick this top. There's been a lot of people trying to pick this top and continue to do so. I've seen a lot of people over the past month actually now making that money on the long side, though also they've switched and they realize it doesn't matter what they think is right. They just need to follow what's happening. They just need to follow the charts. Look at silver today. That's beautiful. Anyone short in silver today, like, what are you doing? Stop picking tops. You should have been positioning in off of all the pullbacks into support. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but that's what you're going to hear from me on the precious metals throughout their bull market. This morning, I went down one of my favorite rabbit holes ever, looking at because I'm so familiar with Bitcoin, right? This is the December. Well, it's Ethereum. It's also a cryptocurrency. But this topping pattern over here, right? And I have it here on silver after the run up back in 2011 when silver peaked at $50. It made the same exact topping pattern. I really want to get into the anatomy of that pattern. I think that I've always been so interested in bubbles, both of bubbles being inflated as well as bubbles popping. I'm looking at the euro, excuse me, as well as bubbles popping. And I find them fascinating. And I believe, see, look over here. This looks like Bitcoin, December 2018. It comes off. Once it comes off 50%, at that point, after the last upburst, that's the time to sell the market. That's the time to sell. During a bull market phase, you'll have plenty of 30% drawdowns. It's once you have over that 50% drawdown that the bull market has faded. You can't get the top of the bull market. At least not on silver or precious metals. I wouldn't be able to. That would just be guessing. With Bitcoin, you have a different set of help. No, I don't know who that is, Steve. Steve's asking why a video with Chamath was shut down. Was talking about Bitcoin. Are you going to see further? Was the Twitter attack a coordinated attack? Was that a false flag against Bitcoin? Ooh, we got a counter trend trade coming up just off time. Is that time based? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar, Steve. I am familiar. He's the Facebook guy. 1 second, everyone. 1 second. Sorry about ex-Facebook guy. Yeah, he's really interesting to listen to. He's great to listen to, actually. Anytime I get a chance to listen to, I won't be able to pronounce his name. You all know Steve. You all know my problem with pronunciations, and I just can't do it. I had I had to teach myself to read by memorization. I couldn't sound out words. That continues today. That's why I'm sorry whenever I mispronounce anyone's name. But anytime I have the time and there's an interview, I do love to follow it and watch him speak. Very, very, very smart guy. I do also love him. Love rabbit holes as well. Either way, I'm gonna not continue with that right now. But what I am gonna tell you is I am going to go ahead and really articulate through a video all this research on finding the top of the bubbles, because once you get into that, once you have that 50% retrace, when you've gone parabolic, and then you have that retrace towards the upside, which is between 30 and 40%, that's where you start getting short, and then that first wave down, and then you're looking for a 50% gain on that, a 50% retracement. Oh, all right. That's really good over there. All right, that just jogged my memory of something else. A video I'll be releasing later today to the Conquering the Markets group. That triggered my mind for something that I'll be releasing to you later today, which talks about getting in on the other side for the expansion. That's really exciting. It's why I love the markets so much. You have no idea. I love the markets. Over our lifetimes, across many asset classes, we're going to see these bubbles playing out and bursting, right? There are fortunes to be had, my friends. Fortunes to be had. Yeah, Ravi, thanks for the thanks, but I do it because I love it, right? And you know what, you guys, it's a pleasure to share with all you guys. Thanks for that, Andreas. Love you all too. I really do mean that. And so again, that's something you guys have probably never heard my excitement on something like that before. But understanding bubbles, because you want to be involved for the bubble. You don't want to just look for the pop of the bubble. You want to be involved in that bubble. Silver, by the way, let's look at silver one last time here this morning. Speaking of bubbles, and we go back to when QE started over here, right over here in December of 2008, that began silver's bull run over here. It took some time. Right? It took how many years? It took a couple of years. Yeah, it took 2 years, 1 month less, a few months less than 2 years to get back to the new all-time high after that bubble started. Are things moving faster now? Does it only take 1 year now? Does it take 2 years for silver to get back to $50, the all-time high? Over here, you can see the all-time high here, $50. Does it take, since QE starts, another 2 years or another year for Bitcoin to test $50? And when it breaks $50, is that when it goes parabolic? Is $200 a reasonable target on silver? I don't know. We're going to find out. But I do know this, that right now, as QE started, this is the beginning innings. This is over here back in February, March. This is March, April of 2009, after silver had that nice run off the lows, right? That thing was not even getting started yet. We're looking at the same thing over here. We're looking for silver to outperform gold, but gold is going to be doing that same thing. Gold, again, close to those new all-time highs. Go back to when QE was started on gold in December of 2008. Right here, that was the low, right? It tested the all-time high quicker than silver did, a little bit. Boom. That's what, where are we going? Trying to get everyone in the good trades. Clint, thanks for being here. Do appreciate that. To have to be on it for a summer session. Still making the best of it, that's for sure. And really what that means right now is trying to get everyone on the right side of the market. What do I think about home prices in the USA? What do I think about home prices in the USA? I don't know. We're seeing a new trend right now where we're seeing people actually leaving the cities and moving out towards areas that have greater freedom. Now that people could work from home and are working from home, and a company doesn't need to hire a developer working in Silicon Valley, they could hire them in Idaho. I was telling my wife and some friends over the weekend how I believed Montana, Colorado, Wyoming, um, Idaho, Montana. Some of the probably the most desirable places to live right now. And then I read an article as prices or rentals are being slashed in New York City. You're seeing overbidding going on. A property for sale in Montana is getting 19 bids. Think about that. You're going to continue to seeing that exodus from cities where you'll see prices and rents go down, I believe, for the foreseeable future, and probably in rural areas and suburban areas, prices maintaining or going up. I don't know whether or not we're going to continue to see a lot of baby boomers who are in houses 4 or 5 bedrooms who actually need to downsize, and there's going to be an oversupply for that segment of the market or not. It seems to me the more competitive portion of the market will be, the 1 and 2 bedrooms and or studios where you have a lot of young people, young single or young couples living together. Generally speaking, there aren't as many big families anymore in the US. So that segment of the market where you have those 4 or 5 bedroom houses in the suburbs, I think that they may see a lot of continued supply where that's more of a buyer's market. And then you're having these other properties right now where you're seeing 19 bids, out, how long that lasts, I'm not really sure. I understand that there is a need. I sold my rental unit. Crested Buttle, Colorado. Colorado is absolutely gorgeous. A home in Wyoming, so nice. But thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. So glad to hear that. Again, if you're not taking joy in other people's success, thank you for that. I had no idea. It just comes natural. Thank you. Thank you for that. NASDAQ on its way to the moon. NASDAQ was leading earlier this morning. We were talking about how we were seeing that rotation back. That's how we started the live stream off, actually, on the NASDAQ over here, talking about how today we're seeing that rotation back into the leaders. That's excellent. And again, I mean, why I say that's excellent, I don't care if it makes sense or not. As long as it's happening, I'm there, right? I'm not like, the markets are going up forever. I don't know if they crash tomorrow, but if they crash tomorrow, I assure you that me and all of you will be on that side of the trade, or we'll get ourselves on that right side of that trade, right? That's what bull markets do, is they just keep climbing that wall of worry, right? Right now, that continues to be it. Everything's kind of stalled out. I think we're going to call it a day. It was a great session. So, Lawrence, did you get a chance, by the way, to visit the mountains in Tennessee? The Blue Ridge Mountains, North Carolina, Tennessee, one of the most incredible places I've ever visited in my life. I never had the opportunity to visit Arkansas or Missouri. I would love to. Let's look at gold. Let's look at the 3-day. Are we seeing a cup and handle? So, I'm not seeing a cup and handle. I'm not seeing a cup and handle. If you were looking, I'm going to give a couple of different scenarios that could perhaps show a cup and handle, and see if one of those are the ones you're looking at. Like, is that the cup you're looking at? And if that's the cup you're looking at, we haven't pulled back for the handle yet, right? If we pull it back like this, I would say, all right, well, that looks like a cup and handle. That would look like a cup and handle to me. Or are you looking at this? But in that case, we still have so far to go. Or if you're looking at, I'm trying to see where you could, like, is that the handle for you? But I'm not seeing a cup and handle personally. Doesn't mean it's not there. Beautiful trading, right? So first of all, when I say beautiful trading, is because you were focused on where the opportunity is this morning. You saw where the leader was, the rotation in. So beautiful trading. The Smokies are awesome. All right, everyone. If you enjoyed this session, as we're getting off right now, again, I really enjoyed when we started talking about a couple of things. When we got into what's going on over here, what Pomp was talking about back in March. Again, I saw this back in March. And when people talk about things and then they happen, those are the people that I lean towards. Same thing with COVID, right? And again, we were on top of that so early. We were on top of the whole breakdown of the equity markets because we were aware of what was going on with COVID. We saw the drop. What a year it has been. I love that. At the end of the year, I could go back sometime. I could go back to all the videos and point out all the highlights. Could you imagine back in January and February, we were the ones talking about 35 oil? When oil was trading upper 50s, we were talking about 35 oil, right? And then as it broke down below 35, we were able to talk about 22 being a price target, 24 first, 22, and then ultimately 14. That's where we stopped with the trade. Thanks. You have a beautiful day as well. Thank you. We are going out, though. We are going out with some music. And I also really enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to sharing in-depth. This would be me retiring one day, maybe. Me retiring one day would be me just looking for this type of pattern in markets, trying to be involved just in some long-term trades for bubbles blowing up and then deflating. So looking forward to sharing that with all of you. This was an amazing interview. Maybe this afternoon I'll include some of it. They talk about in about 2.5 minutes what the Fed needs to do and the path and trajectory it's on. Again, we talked about earlier the Bloomberg article where the Fed is looking to run this thing hot. If the Fed is forecasting that they are looking to go ahead and run the economy hot, stop trying to get on the wrong side of that market. All right, let's take this out with some music. And I just want to say thank all of you. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, we already looked to take profit. We're neutral. We're neutral. Thanks, Ben. Please do smash that like button. Thanks for being here. By the way, anyone who's listening right now, listen in the afternoon video. If you go ahead and smash that like button, if you like what's being shared, that's an enormous help. Thank you. Buy Bitcoin. Great to see you. Thank you. A successful week to everyone. Let's make it another good one. I see them piling up. I want that trend to continue. I want everyone to continue making more and more money. $400 likes. Thank you. Oh, we didn't get 4. Yeah, we got 403 likes. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, best one. Don't be the best spammer. Thank you, David. God bless you too. Thank you for this wonderful time spent together. I'm really grateful. Thank you, David. Right. Yeah. Thanks, best. Again, we have zero tolerance for spammers. We don't have any type of police in here. We don't play. We just don't play. We had some people getting all triggered this morning about I don't even know what they were talking about, but we had to put an end to that really quick. Thanks for that. Smoothness. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, everyone. I'll talk to you later.